What is up, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to another morning of Jays Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and welcome to Talk All Things Blue Jays. And we're going to get to talk to a horrible one right off the bat. So let's just dive into it and step up to the plate. So yesterday's game was very interesting from every avenue. There's only so many things that can happen on a baseball field, and it seems like everything happened yesterday during the Blue Jays versus the Orioles. And one thing we're going to have to talk off the bat, because they have not mentioned how bad or anything it is at this moment of the recording of this, and George Springer has to be hurt. So yesterday he was at the plate. He took an awkward swing, and you saw him go right to his wrist or his hand. So the trainer comes out, starts doing everything that they need to hopefully analyze what's going on, check out the situation and everything like that. And for whatever reason, regardless of the fact that George Springer clearly looked uncomfortable, there would be the biggest problem. You could tell this on TV watching that something didn't look right. He took the world's slowest practice swing, and it did not look right. He imagines to talk John Schneider and the team into going, "Yep, no, I'm fine. Just get back to the dugout, whatever it is." And he proceeds to take two more cuts at the plate. And the third one, when he finally struck out, there is something massively wrong, I think, at this point. It'll be a miracle if he's not hurt, because he not only left the bat laying there as there's a swing, he went right to his wrist, pulled his elbow guard off, and went right into the tunnel of the dugout at Camden Yards. So it did not look good for Blue Jays fans. For a guy that has been red hot to start the season, he's batting 400 at the moment. He's been playing good defense, looking like Springer of old, all these wonderful things. This is a blow, especially when we don't have Dalton Varsho back in this outfield. Some of the kids have stepped up and been doing really well. We're going to get to Miles Straw here in a little bit to talk about him, but he has been also stepping up. So it's just not how this outfield is planned to become together. And George Springer was intended to be a big part of that whole thing. And we've seen the best of him so far this season and been very, very, very happy with everything that Springer's been doing. But how do you leave him in during that situation? If I'm sitting on my couch at home drinking a beer and I'm saying he doesn't look healthy, he doesn't look healthy. John Schneider's the guy on the field there with the trainer, and I can't imagine what the hell Springer said to be able to talk him into it. It looked like it went from, okay, something tweaked, to, oh my God, he's hurt in two pitches. So I only wish the best and a speedy recovery to George Springer, because, like I said, I have been greatly enjoying the resurgence that we've been getting from him this season. And what we've been getting out of him so far this season has been night and day. We need that in the lineup. He's been one of the very few guys that's actually been driving in runs in those clutch situations, and playing great defense, as I mentioned. So we wish you a speedy recovery, Mr. Springer. Tip of the hat for you. So let's talk the rest of the game. Because in addition to that, oops, I think the comedy of errors is about the best way of describing this, because not only were there actually two big errors in this game, there were a couple that didn't go down as errors as well. There was base running blunders, all sorts of things, and the Toronto Blue Jays had a really, really, really rough time. And it's amazing that they came out of this one with a W. It really is. The final score in 10 innings was 7-6. The only reason I think the Blue Jays won this game is because they were just mashing the ball at the plate and got lucky to the tune of 7 runs. This is what happens when you have 16 hits. These are the right things to have a problem with. So Bichette goes 2 for 6. Vladdy goes 2 for 5. We got a 2 for 5 performance out of Andres Jimenez, and he had 2 runs scored as well. Got our first home run for Alejandro Kirk. That is just so much fun. I love Kirky. To me, he's the King Kirk, not Captain Kirk. I'm giving him a promotion, but I'm looking very forward to seeing if this stays hot, because Kirk was hitting the ball hard all spring, and then it kind of fell off. Maybe it was the cold weather and all that kind of nonsense, but I just think it's funny that the home run he hit yesterday for his first this season would not have been a home run in Baltimore at Camden Yards last year. It was in that new renovation that they did again to left field, and it goes over for that. So very cool. I'd say outside of the home run, Yesterday, the biggest king of offense was Ernie Clement. Yeah, you heard me. He's actually this close to being in the Mendoza line after batting like a buck 98, or not even a buck 98. He's at a buck 94 right now. 0.098, I believe, was his batting average heading into this game. So he ends up going 4 for 5, like I mentioned, with 2 runs scored. He had one of the doubles, but that was another beautiful part. There was some doubles in this game. We had some extra base hits. That was a first. 4 doubles for the Blue Jays, and the home run by Kirky. Um, it was very good on the offensive side, but like I said, there was just base running blunders along with fielding errors that led to a few runs for the Baltimore Orioles, who also had a great day of offense too, or 9 hits and 6 runs, or yeah, 6 runs. Um, we keep getting beat up by the same Orioles. It's that simple. But Jose Barrios got taken deep by Ryan Mountcastle, who I think I read before the game was batting like 450 against the Blue Jays or something like that. It was a wild stat to read. And same thing with Adley Rutschman, has like 13 career home runs against the Blue Jays. I know they play each other all the time. I get that, but that is a lot of home runs by one person when Adley Rutschman hasn't been in the league that long. Ryan Mountcastle's only been in the league a couple of more years than Rutschman. Rutschman finally put up an offer. So, oh no, I take that back. I forgot he got the last RBI in the game. There's that. So, but then big triple leads to a Heston Kjerstad RBI too from Gunnar Henderson was the triple. Kjerstad hits the double, drives him in. But yeah, Rutschman had that RBI double late in the game. But they scored 6 runs, and the Orioles did not get a run in off of any of their hits. They went 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So Barrios was doing Barrios things for a majority of this game. Then the hamster kind of fell off the wheel a little bit in the 6th inning, where 2 of the runs scored against him. Like I said, there were a couple home runs in Ryan Mountcastle, and Tyler O'Neill hit his 2nd home run after hitting it off of Barrios opening day. Who, by the way, if you hadn't seen that stat yet, Tyler O'Neill has 6 opening day home runs and consecutively. So the last 6 opening days, which by the way, I think he's only played for 6 years. He's gotten a home run every piece of that. So the other things that the Blue Jays did right around the comedy of errors, the aggressive base running did pay off for a few of their runs. Clement and Jimenez also had stolen bases, and I was actually shocked the one by Clement. He looked like he got a slow jump, but then all of a sudden it was like he was there no problem. But maybe it was just one of those things that looked like he was going slow to start off with. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, the majority of the runs, like I said, came off of Barrios. 2 of them were scored while Nick Sandlin was on the hill, but those errors, like I mentioned, led to the actual runs scoring, so he was not credited with any earned runs in that. But then from there, things got turned on in the bullpen. Brandon Little, Mason Fluharty, and Jimmy Garcia just cruised. And then Jeff Hoffman, just enough to keep things moving, like I mentioned. But Jeff Hoffman was a ray of light at the end of that game because, like I mentioned, he just mowed through the hitters for 2 innings straight, and 4 of those were strikeouts. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Nail in the coffin right there. Picks up the W for the Blue Jays and looks great. So, but yeah, I want to focus at the end of this a little bit because like I mentioned, the Blue Jays did play some double game finally. Even Anthony Santander got into the game with a double yesterday. The small ball's paying off. They need to focus on that because this is a game that could have went the other direction. All those hits piling up. Blue Jays still went 7 for 20 with runners in scoring position. So those little nubblers and niblets and whatever the heck it was, even Miles Straw's game-winning run scored was off of like what looked like a swinging bunt, and he just was so quick that he beat the ball to first base, which in turn scored the runner from third. So, but I do got to give credit to one more thing. If Nathan Lucas does not make that diving catch in the 9th inning to get the 3rd out, this is already over with. So he comes in from right and slides and makes an incredible catch. Jeff Hoffman is instantly going like this and just did a great job. But Nathan Lucas, defensive gem actually led to giving the Blue Jays a chance in the 10th. So it worked out. So before we get to the end of the show here, where we're going to talk about who's coming, I do have to give some credit where credit is due, because if anybody's paying attention to any of the fun in the minor leagues, last year's first round draft pick for the Toronto Blue Jays, Trey Yosevich, has been making his major league debut. He had an amazing Arizona Fall League. Really got some things going on in the spring where people obviously clearly saw him for the first time and got on everybody's radar. He's starting off pretty damn good. So he got 4 innings yesterday, 4 strikeouts, and actually gave up his first run of the early season down in double A, or single A. And I just wanted to give credit where credit is due, because he looked good in the videos I saw. This kid is going to be stellar. If you have not checked out Trey Yosevich, make sure you check out him in your minor league checkups and updates and whatnot, because kid's got great movement on his pitches. I look very forward to seeing what he does with the rest of his career. So let's talk where we're going next. We're finally heading home after a long week. So the Blue Jays are heading back up home today. Make sure you tune in around 1 o'clock. The Blue Jays are having an official press conference for the signing of Vlad Jr. to his monster deal. And it's going to be hopefully some fun stuff, because they have been promoting this whole piece of now he's home in Blue Jays fandom for over a week now. So I'm looking forward to see if they do anything special today. It's even being aired on the MLB network, because that's how big of a deal this signing is. I believe it is the biggest contract extension in MLB history. Don't get that confused with actual contract signings, because Vladdy was never a free agent. So this is an extension. So check that out around at 1 o'clock. It'll be on Sportsnet. It'll be on the MLB network. Check it out. It'll be fun. Worst case scenario, we get to hear Vladdy for this whole thing, and then he gets to finally focus on doing nothing but mash baseballs and play good first base, which was part of the problem yesterday. So I need this off of his mind. I need to let him watch and have fun again. So that's this afternoon. But this evening, the Blue Jays have the Braves coming to town, as mentioned. The Braves are going to be having a really rough time this season if they keep up what's going on. They are currently 4-11, and they've been getting beaten and battered up a little bit. They are going to get some reinforcements in this this series against the Toronto Blue Jays, because they are apparently going to get Spencer Strider back this week, where he'll be activated off the DL. But today we are going to get Grant Holmes versus Easton Lucas. And as all of you know, Easton Lucas has been on a tear after figuring something out. But we'll talk about him after we talk Grant Holmes. Grant Holmes has been having a pretty decent start. He's got 2 great outings so far this season. One out of the bullpen, though. And then the other start, he did really well. The most recent one against the Philadelphia Phillies. But the Dodgers brushed him up for 4 innings in his outing. So it's a 50-50, it's a coin flip with what we're going to get possibly on the mound today for Grant Holmes. But we'll see what happens. I do think the Blue Jays are hitting well. It's how they handle getting those runners around the bases. The clutch is the problem at the moment for Toronto Blue Jays. So we have not seen Easton Lucas give up a run. Yeah, he's only allowed, actually, funny enough, 4 hits in just over 10 innings. And he's got 11 strikeouts already. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the Easton Lucas is still the monster lefty that he looks to be over these first 2 outings. I do love his stuff. I think it's going to be a very fun time one way or the other. He's been a monster fill-in for Max Scherzer. There is still rumors floating around that the Blue Jays are shopping for pitching because of the Max Scherzer situation. They got a hell of a holdover right now in Easton Lucas, but the rumor has been Spencer Turnbull. And the longtime Tiger is still looking for a home. I can't argue with that. Worst case scenario, Spencer's a great depth piece. He's been out of the bullpen a lot more in his last few years, but he obviously has been a starter most of his career. I do like that move. I think it's a nice sneaky move that is a difference between a playoff team and a good regular season team. Blue Jays are currently the beast of the East at a 9-7 record. As I mentioned, they will be taking on the Braves this evening, who are currently 4-11, and the current lineup has obviously never faced Easton Lucas. So we'll see what goes on, and we'll go from there. So Blue Jays fans, make sure you enjoy the Vladdy celebration today. Enjoy the game, and we will see you tomorrow. Good things go great. Let's get some hits and get some fundamentals. And as always, let's go Blue Jays.